Good morning, good afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you are. It's me again, Jen. Hello! And I am reading today from the Journey into the Hidden Realms Tarot. It is a Barbara Moore and Julia Jeffrey tarot deck, and it was lent to me by my good friend Topaz. It is Thursday, so we are almost done with the week. It is the 20th of August, so we're almost done with the month. And we are just this much on the side of a moon that is waxing. So we had the new moon a couple nights ago. Officially, it is kind of finally starting to wake up. It's a little tiny sliver of a moon if you can barely see it. So all of those things in mind, it kind of makes me wonder if the card is going to be about new beginnings or endings or what. But without further ado, let's check out what the Journey to the Hidden Realms has us for today. All right. Oh, well, it's a little bit of both, I guess. All right. We have the Hermit. This is actually really funny for those who follow on the Discord channel. I drew the Hermit this morning too. So I draw about 2 cards a day, and when they match up, it's a little bit eerie. I think this happened twice this month. But anyway, the Hermit is the card for the day, and she, a female hermit, is actually, I think, an excellent representation. But to some degree, how can you really go wrong with the Hermit? She is called the Hermit. She is the 9th card in the, yeah, in the Major Arcana. Maybe I need to be a hermit today and just like not talk too much. All right. So the Hermit is the 9th card in the Major Arcana, and she is very typically, okay, typically it's a male hermit, but he is, or she is in this case, typically someone who obviously kind of goes off on their own and goes and discovers kinds of the secrets of themselves as well as the secrets of the darkness and the world and all that kind of stuff. So I actually really like that in this card. I don't know if you can tell in the picture, but like there's a cave back here. And it doesn't look like the opening is that big, but I'm willing to bet that like she's climbing up to this cave to go inside the cave. Mountains are always present in the depiction of the hermit. Mountains are kind of depict a challenge of some kind. So if you're looking at a card and you see mountains on it, that those mountains are going to depict kind of how difficult the challenge will be. So if they are little kind of rolling hills, well, you got a little bit of bumpy road coming up. If they are more like mountainous, crazy, like mountain pass and it's cold and there's snow and there's blizzards and all this stuff, that's a more difficult journey. And the journey of the hermit, usually the card shows like kind of an ice and snow underfoot of this hermit who is climbing the mountain. And in this case, I don't see the cold in snow or blizzard or anything like that, but you can see like the wind is taking her hair, the skies are gray, which also usually depicts like confusion and thought and all those kinds of things. She's using a staff. She does have a coat on, so it's not like it's a warm spring day. She's clearly got like herself bundled up. So I'm going to say that there is definitely some cold being depicted in here. She also has a raven skull and a stone on her necklace. I don't know if the necklace is multiple necklace or not. There's also like a little tiny bead on that one. But the two I want to kind of pay attention to is the raven skull and the stone with a hole in it. So ravens, we've seen those depicted in other cards as well as meaning death, as meaning kind of a messengers of death. When someone is wearing the raven's skull, it kind of means that they've seen it already. They've seen death, they've seen the nether worlds, they've seen those darker places and have been transformed by it. So the raven's skull is kind of a little bit like wearing any kind of skull or a butterfly. If somebody's wearing a butterfly or a raven skull, it's very similar in that it's about transformation and transcendence into something else and knowledge of those kinds of things. Stones with holes in them are really kind of cool because they have a lot of different meanings, but one of my favorite is if you look through them, you can see secrets. So I always like to, when I pop culture this, it's like looking through that coin in Goonies where they look through it and suddenly they understand where they're going and they know the key to the map. And so stones with holes in them remind me of Goonies and remind me of kind of those secrets that are hidden and you can only see them if you look through the stone, if you look through these things. So she has a means to look into the secrets. She has transcended, and you've got this cave, which caves are kind of that going into Mother Earth, going into the nether realms, going into places that are hidden. So all of these things are actually really great representations of what the hermit means. So the only thing she's lacking is carrying a lantern, which usually the hermit has a lantern which enlightens the rest of us to these secrets. So instead, she's sort of keeping them to herself in a way. But I really like this card as a representation of the hermit. So this card finally has a winning one. Topaz, this is a good one. Finally, we've got one that embodies all the symbols and a few more, I would say. So the hermit in this case, she's going to go into the nether realms and see what secrets she finds and all those kinds of things. And that's really what the hermit is about. The hermit is about that being solitary and looking into yourself and looking within and facing those demons and facing that darkness and going back with the knowledge to other people and saying, this is the way it is. While she's not necessarily, I'm saying she and it's just automatically because it's a female in the card. The hermit typically is not so much a teacher in the same sense as like the Hierophant is a teacher, or even say like to some degree, I guess the high priestess is a little bit a teacher as well. This character teaches more in the sense of this is how you should live your life. So if you've been kind of living your life in a way that's not jiving with how you really feel inside, that's kind of why you want to look at the hermit card a little bit more. Also, if you haven't had a moment of peace, that's a good reason to kind of pull the hermit card and embody that a little bit. But the hermit card teaches everybody else by going, okay, look, see, I've been there. I've seen that. This is how I am now. This is just the way it is. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, but I'm going to live my life in a way that is unshakable. That's really the term I would use for the hermit. The hermit is unshakable. They have seen it all, they've done it all, and you can tell them, no, we're going to change and do this and we're going to do that. And unless it fits with their core moral being, unless it fits with kind of what they believe is, delivered from the higher power, delivered from that earth mother realm of things, if it doesn't jive with that, you can't shake them. You can't really lie to them anymore. They can see it. They got a great poker face, but they also can see through yours. No problem. So the hermit typically is depicted as somebody older, and I think that's really because people who are older have kind of been there, done that. They've seen it all. And unless they've lived, in that same town their entire life and never experienced much of the world, they do kind of have a worldliness to them. They have taken that time to kind of look at everybody for who they are and say, yeah, you walk your own path, I'm going to walk mine. And I'm not going to bother you on your path because it's not my place to do that. These are people who are unfathomable kind of individuals, and I really like this depiction of the hermit. So we have a good one on this one. That's kind of two in a row because I really loved the one yesterday, even though it didn't have a whole lot of great symbolism in it. It was a beautiful card, and they're all very beautiful cards. So I went a little bit longer than I usually do on the hermit, but I think maybe it's because I drew that card twice today, and it's probably trying to tell me something. So hopefully I will get some peace and quiet today, this afternoon. Who knows? Maybe not. Maybe I'm supposed to teach people that, hey, you can have peace and quiet even in the chaos of everything else that's going on. So that's the hermit. That's our reading for Thursday. that's a fun way to look at that card. And it is, I just noticed her hair is like kind of more blue than it is gray. It's just, this card is fantastic. I'll be looking at it for a while. So, as always, if you have any questions, concerns, or comments, please leave a comment below. Like and subscribes and all those kinds of crazy things that you can do on YouTube. As well, check out the links in the description below and, you know, join us for a tarot cafe and join us for a lesson or come just hang out. We've got a Discord thing and we've been chatting a whole lot about tarot and things on that. All right, until next time, bye!